You've been eyeing the ultimate portable powerhouse, but with two giants in the ring, Razer's Blade 16 and ASUS's Zephyrus G16, how do you pick the real champion? Both machines sport slim profiles, bold OLED screens, and enough GPU horsepower to melt your socks off. Yet beneath those sleek exteriors lie very different philosophies. One laser-focused on absolute performance, the other engineered for a smarter balance of power, portability, and battery life. By the end of this video, you'll know which laptop deserves a spot in your backpack and why. Let's jump right into design and see which one feels like it was built just for you. At first glance, the Blade 16 feels like a precision instrument. Its unibody CNC milled aluminum chassis oozes durability, and the matte black finish with subtle green accents gives it that iconic Razer vibe. It clocks in at around 5.4 pounds, noticeably heavier, but maintains a razor-thin profile that's surprisingly easy to slip into a backpack. The keyboard offers firm, clicky feedback that's satisfying for quick flicks in FPS games, though long typing sessions can feel a bit stiff. By contrast, the Zephyrus G16 sheds over a pound to sit at about 4.2 pounds, yet still doesn't compromise on sturdiness. Depending on the trim you choose, you can deck it out with an anime-style LED matrix on the lid or stick to a more understated light bar. Its keys are softer and quieter, making your fingers happy during marathon editing sessions. Both laptops flaunt per-key RGB, but ASUS's Armoury Crate software gives you deeper customization, from layering effects to syncing with your desktop peripherals. But a pretty shell means nothing without a display that wows. Let's check the screens next. Razer's Blade 16 rocks a 16-inch 2880 by 1840 QHD OLED panel that blends super sharp detail with rich colors and inky blacks. A blazing 240 Hz refresh rate ensures buttery smooth motion whether you're tearing through Valorant or scrubbing timelines in Premiere Pro. Peak brightness tops out around 500 nits, making it a solid choice for well-lit rooms, though you may want to crank it up all the way outdoors. ASUS answers with a 2560 by 1600 QHD Plus OLED at 165 Hz. Slightly lower resolution and refresh, but still plenty punchy for most use cases. Its color accuracy is well tuned out of the box, thanks to ASUS's factory calibration, and the panel's lower peak nits actually ease eye strain during extended low-light sessions. Both displays support HDR, giving your favorite blockbusters that extra pop, but the Blade's higher refresh does edge out in the responsiveness department. Great visuals are useless if performance falters, so which one packs more punch under the hood? Under the Blade 16's hood lives AMD's Ryzen AI 9HX-370 with a 2.0 GHz base clock that rockets past 5 GHz in boost. This chip doesn't just chase high numbers, it dynamically allocates power between cores for AI-driven optimizations, smoothing out complex video encodes, or AI upscaling on the fly. This AI infusion means you're not just getting raw speed, but smart efficiency, especially when juggling gaming, streaming, and creative workloads simultaneously. ASUS fields Intel's Core Ultra 9 285H, which flips the script. A higher 2.9 GHz base clock marries performance and efficient cores to tackle heavy 3D renders or demanding productivity apps right off the bat. That snappier base clock translates to quicker launch times and more instantaneous responsiveness in everyday tasks. Which matters more if your workflow is bursting with AI-enhanced video filters and machine learning boosts? AMD's approach can feel downright predictive. For pure out-of-the-box snappiness, Intel's Ultra series has a slight edge. Of course, your games and renders live in the GPU. Time to compare graphics muscle. Both rigs pack NVIDIA's top-tier GeForce RTX 40 series, but with a twist. The Blade 16 typically sports the RTX 4090 with 24 GB of GDDR6, while many G16 configurations come with the RTX 4080 at the same 24 GB capacity. In raw benchmark runs, the RTX 4090 flexes smoother frame rates by about 10 to 15% at 1440p max settings, with ray tracing cranked up and DLSS 3 smoothing out any dips. That extra headroom makes the Blade the go-to for serious VR, ultra-wide monitors, or running multiple external displays at peak settings. The G16's RTX 4080 isn't a slouch by any measure. It hits 100 plus frames per second in Cyberpunk 2077 at ultra settings with ray tracing on, and holds solid in AIA titles. In creative apps like Blender or DaVinci Resolve, the difference shrinks to single-digit percentages, so unless you need the absolute top-end FPS or render times, the G16 delivers nearly the same real-world chops for less cache and heat. All that power needs proper cooling. Whose thermal design keeps things under control? Under stress, the Blade 16's single-fan vapor chamber design pumps heat fast, but you'll notice surface temps climbing above 50 degrees Celsius near the keyboard vent during extended loads. Noise tops out around 55 decibels in performance mode, a noticeable hum that's hard to ignore without headphones. ASUS counters with its tri-fan intelligent cooling system, 3 heat pipes, active vapor chamber, and an intake grill on the bottom for constant airflow. The result? Surface temps rarely crack 45 degrees Celsius, even under 100% load, and fan noise hovers around 50 decibels, quieter and less obtrusive during long sessions. Both laptops throttle slightly under extreme stress, but the G16 holds peak clocks almost half a minute longer before dropping by 10%, whereas the Blade dips closer to 20% sooner. If thermals and noise matter, the Zephyrus edges out as the cooler, calmer contender. High-end gear is only half the story. How long will they last unplugged? Battles between high-performance laptops and endurance often end in compromise, but the G16's 90 watt-hour battery plus OLED efficiency delivers 8 to 9 hours of mixed web browsing, document editing, and video playback. With fast charge capable of 50% in 30 minutes, you can grab a quick boost between meetings. The Blade 16, despite its hefty 80 watt-hour pack, rarely scrapes past 5 hours under similar loads, draining faster when the AI features kick in or you fire up intensive apps. At 5.4 pounds versus 4.2 pounds, the Blade isn't exactly a brick, but you'll notice the extra weight trekking through airports or coffee shops. If your days stretch long or you hate hunting for outlets, ASUS's platform feels more like a day-long laptop. But all this comes at a price. Let's talk money. Starting MSRP for the Razer Blade. 16 sits around $2,800 for the base Ryzen AI 936-5 model with 32 gigabytes of RAM and 1 terabyte SSD, climbing to $4,600 for the top RTX 4090 Ryzen AI 9 HX-370 flagship with 64 gigabytes of RAM and 4 terabyte SSD. The Zephyrus G16 kicks off near $2,800 as well for an Intel Core Ultra 7 RTX 4080, 32 gigabytes, 1 terabyte setup, while stepping up to about $3,000 for the Ryzen AI 9 HX-370 Plus RTX 4080 combo. The Blade's premium tag buys you more GPU headroom and AI features, but at nearly double the cost of mid-tier ASUS configs. In bang-for-buck terms, the G16 bites deeper. You get nearly identical real-world performance across most gaming and creative tasks for significantly less green. Unless you're chasing the top 5% of GPU horsepower, ASUS's package delivers more balanced value. And now, who really needs each of these machines? If you're a professional creator who demands the fastest render times, 3D animators, VFX artists, or YouTubers who eat Premiere Pro timelines for breakfast, the Blade 16's extra GPU and AI cores will shave minutes off your workflow, and the 240 Hz panel keeps edits snappy. Hardcore gamers chasing every frame in competitive shooters or sim racers will also appreciate that RTX 4090 boost. On the flip side, the Zephyrus G16 is perfect for power users who split time between office apps, light 3D work, high-res photo editing, and gaming sessions without tethering to a charger. Students, traveling pros, and anyone who values long-haul battery life and a lighter chassis will find the G16 more forgiving day-to-day. Still undecided? Let's dive into a few niche pros and cons you may not have considered. Beyond the headline specs, the Blade's vapor chamber cooling pairs with onboard AI to dynamically adjust fan curves based on apps you open, handy if you switch between heavy and light tasks frequently. However, its BIOS feels locked down, limiting undervolting or fan curve tweaking. The G16's Armory crate unlocks deeper customization, from CPU power caps to per-fan RPM control, and includes X-Sense LED effects that sync with in-game events. That said, some ASUS firmware updates have introduced bloatware reminders or occasional driver hiccups that require manual intervention. Razer's software suite is leaner but less configurable. And before you hit buy, here are 2 wildcards that could tip the scales. Word on the street is Razer is testing a next-gen cooler boost module for its 2025 Blade lineup, promising up to 20% lower GPU temps. Meanwhile, ASUS has teased an upcoming BIOS update that unlocks real AI-powered noise cancellation for streaming, potentially a game changer if you record in noisy environments. Neither feature is confirmed for existing silicon, but firmware and driver updates in the coming months could tilt performance or value significantly without spending an extra dime. Keep an eye on official release notes before making a final decision. All right, let's wrap it all up with a quick verdict. When push comes to shove, the Razer Blade 16 reigns supreme if your priority is bleeding-edge GPU performance and AI-accelerated workflows, and you don't mind the premium price, added weight, and shorter battery life. The ASUS ROG Zephyrus G16, however, strikes a smarter balance. Lighter chassis, longer unplugged sessions, robust cooling, and nearly identical real-world performance for most gamers and creators, all at a friendlier price. Which one fits your world? Drop your pick in the comments, hit like if you found this breakdown useful, and don't forget to subscribe for more in-depth tech showdowns. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.